50 million times. That gets old and boring. Not to mention all the characters are super. They're not real. They're completely fake. Not even their personalities come close to humanity. It's like trying to point out a moral with really bad characters. It doesn't really work well. It's like a really bad written fable.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, I think you're trying to, this is just coming from somebody that analyzes pretty much everything. I think you're trying to put too much, realism in it. There's nothing in here that says realism. It's an RPG storyline, for goodness sake. You know what I mean?
What does RPG storyline have to do with realism? Okay, maybe.
It's based off a video game.
Yeah, they shouldn't say the game.
It's based off an RPG game. The story is that they are in a world where everything is sand, and you have the beastmen versus the humans. It's pretty much, it's pretty much, yes, a story that we've heard before. You know, like if you go from the history books to X-Men and currently Legend of Korra, it's always one side versus the other.
Oh yeah, there's got to be conflict, because if there wasn't, it's
because they're different. That's what the conflict is. I've never seen Last Exile, to tell you the truth, because the first time I even saw one episode, I immediately changed the channel.
You know,
I guess because something else was on.
That's how I felt with Sands of Destruction. I watched, I think, the first 2 episodes, and it was like, done, I quit. I can't do this. But I did watch all of Last Exile, which is 1,000 times more interesting than Sands of Destruction.
I found it interesting because it was sort of a twist. Instead of someone wanting to be the hero, they wanted to destroy. They wanted to destroy everything. They wanted to restart everything.
All right, let's go into that. If you really want to destroy everything, you would really destroy everything. She was going around saving people. You would not be saving the people you're trying to destroy. That's my problem.
That wasn't her original intent, though. The only reason why she was doing that was because of the other 2 characters. Not so much, that wasn't her intent. Her intent was to find out what the...
And if she was a strong character, she would have stayed on her own decision and said, you save them if you want, I'm going my own way. Kind of like Lightning when she told Hope, I'm not taking care of you. If you're coming with me, you're going to stand on your own 2 feet.
You know that wasn't going to happen. That's not how these things go. Nothing ever goes the way we actually think it is. Some things are predictable and other things aren't. You know what I'm saying?
And this was a predictable, horrible storyline. I wish Sephiroth would have descended the sky and just fucking killed her. Like, you call yourself a villain? You insult the villain. Hey. You insult the villain.
Okay, first of all, you got the right spirit, but that's the wrong company. That's Square Enix versus Sega.
Yeah, I know.
Destruction is Sega.
He's like my god of villains, okay? He should descend upon everyone.
You're in the right space, but the wrong universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Sega doesn't have that many good villains. Sega does.
What doesn't have that many good villains?
Sega
doesn't have that many good villains?
Not that I can remember.
It depends on what you mean by good.
I mean, they don't have any really deep, dark villains that actually kill people. Not to my memory. If they do, please point it out.
Okay, Sega's main character, mascot,
Sonic,
was a cartoon hedgehog that uses sneakers to run everywhere.
Sonic, he can really.
Exactly, Sonic was their flagship character, just like Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't kill. Nintendo doesn't kill. Mario doesn't kill people.
Well, not Mario, but there are other Nintendo games.
I know, but their flagship characters, they don't kill. Come on.
Speaking of
Square Enix, their flagship was Final Fantasy. That has violence, that has storyline, that has I don't know if it has gore or anything.
Not really.
I haven't played the games. I mean, but these are anime turned, video game turned anime.
Yeah.
Now, what's the story with the last Exile? First off.
All right. The story of Exile are about these two orphans, it's Lavi and Klaus, and they inherited this flagship from Klaus's father, and they decided they want to become flagship pilots like him. They're kind of like the postal service. They just deliver like mail and stuff, but each delivery they make, because they're in a wartime, has like a seal of difficulty, and if you get 7 stars, that's like the most difficult. And then one day they were delivering this mail to a commander on a ship during battle. They end up succeeding doing that. That mission passes, and then they enter a race to earn money, because they built their own house and they're living alone. And they run into this other flagship who has a 7-star mission, and the guy is being chased by this mechanical, like, star. And he tells them, he's like, they're after this little girl. Will you please take her where I needed to bring her? And he dies. Lavi, at first, she disagrees with it because it's dangerous. But Klaus sees the adventure in it, and he takes the mission on. And they stick with her throughout the entire storyline to figure out why it is she's being chased and captured. But it's not like every other anime where it's, oh, it's a little girl who has a secret power that no one knows about, not even her. That's not it. She doesn't have any powers. It's something that she knows that they want. She has information.
She has information, which is almost as bad as having power.
No, it's not, because everyone has information. That's about
I'm talking about the type of information that can get you killed. Everybody has information, but not everybody has something that they know that somebody else will kill them for. But to find out.
Here's the good thing. Sense of Destruction is about a girl who wants to destroy the world, alright? She kind of takes on the role of a villain, but she isn't one. Last Exile has a hardcore, badass female villain that would kick her ass. And that's the one who's chasing the little girl. It's not...
So, is it the story as a whole is the thing that pisses you off about Sense of Destruction?
I think it's just the main character, but other than that, it's the personality.
It sounds like you have a beef with the main character. Yes, it does. It sounds like you have a beef with Morte.
I have a beef with the main character because I consider myself a villain, and she kind of ruins the villain name. I'm sorry, but then I have a beef with the
She never said she was a villain. Her main reason
of a villain.
Yes, but the only reason why she did it, basically,
it was a misunderstanding, I think, right?
No, it was because her brother died in this war thanks to Beastmen, and she doesn't like the fact that it's Beastmen versus humans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like that the role is kind of switched because usually you see humans and animals either cohabitating or somebody's got a problem with the animals. Now it's the animals that have the dominance, and they're using the humans as their pets or their slaves or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's it's not really a big switch, and basically the Beastmen are humanoid. So the only thing they have a problem with is the humans. You know what I'm saying? I think that makes any sense. I just found it interesting that she wanted to destroy the world for some reason. I mean, and she's supposed to be like a hero. Sort of yes and sort of no. I mean, if you look at I played the actual game that this story comes from, right?
Yeah.
The plot in the game is a lot better in my opinion, but then again, that's how it usually is with these things.
I never played the game, and like I said, I got into like 2 episodes. It's just one of those series I couldn't make myself watch. I couldn't get into it, and I was like, what the
back in time and see all the stuff I had missed.
We digress.
Yeah.
Now that you know the storyline of Last Exile, would you be interested in watching it? Like maybe just 1 episode or?
Yes, I would. Just to give it a shot, I would. Mm-hmm.
It's not a really long series. It has like 20-something episodes at best, and it's just they did make a season 2 to it, but there's only 1 original character in it, so I'm not sure if it's really worth watching.
I think